We are live now. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, peoples of the internet. Welcome to the final book club for Brandon Sanderson's The Hero of Ages, book 3 in the Mistborn trilogy.
Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh.
And
Yes,
we're
it's
not
real.
I know, we're not gonna go through each chapter like we usually do because we literally read half the book in this time span. But
Yeah,
we'll highlight some stuff from parts 3 through 6. I think there's 6 parts plus the epilogue.
yeah.
Which it's crazy to me that like a lot of the big reveal happened in like the few pages of the epilogue. Because when he
Yeah,
just ended the book, I'm like, wait a minute, there's an epilogue, right? But we'll get to that.
Not gonna lie, my brain is like kind of muddled up because I also read Warbreaker in between finishing
Uh-oh.
Mistborn at this meeting.
wasn't it good?
Oh, dude, it's amazing. I
I
fucking want.
told
That's the
you.
standalone one, right? So maybe because I was
Oh,
scouring Brando Sando's website yesterday after finishing the
it
book.
it's not standalone really in the sense that like
Well,
it's
it's in the
part of the
Lord
one, it's
Rings.
part of the Cosmere, and two, apparently Brandon Sanderson confirmed he is making a sequel. He just doesn't
Oh,
know when. He just doesn't know
he
when.
has
Right.
it planned. It's in his mind.
It's
So
in
it's
his
on the endless
endless.
backlog.
Yeah, he said probably somewhere between Era 3 Mistborn, which I think is like is like estimated at like 2047.
Wait, really? Because I
Wait,
think
where?
all 4 books are out for the second part of the trilogy for the Mistborn.
Yeah, but
But
he has
he
other
wasn't gonna
shit,
touch
but he
it
has
again.
other
He's
he
doing
has
another
other shit to
series. He had
write.
Oh,
the
rip.
cyberpunk run, remember?
Yeah. But I read that headline, that like article, and I went, "What?"
Yeah,
Oops.
Warbreaker is such sister core book that I absolutely adore.
But I will say, him saying it's gonna come somewhere after Era 3, which is estimated at 2047, was a wild line to read.
But 24, he's gonna be like in his 60s?
I mean, George R. R. Martin is still like quote unquote writing A Song
I
of Ice and
Bro, this is
Fire.
worse than
I
waiting for
don't
Aaron to
believe
get
George
to
R.
the
R.
basement.
Martin is writing. I believe he's just waiting to die. Just he like has fully stopped writing, and he's just
Well,
tired.
agreed, agreed. That's what I'm saying.
When
Quote
you're
unquote, he's still writing, and what? The first book came out in the '90s.
Wait, how old
Yeah,
is Sanderson?
something.
Oh shit, Sanderson's
is
49.
he like 40?
Oh,
Oh
dude,
yeah,
you
very
told
smart.
me he was like 40 some, like young
I thought
40.
I thought he was like 38. I'm gonna be for real.
Yo,
Don't worry, he'll make it. He'll make it.
He's got a
please
lot
don't
of
die
life
on us,
ahead
Stop
of
Brando
him.
Sando.
stop starting new projects.
I
Continue.
trust him. I trust
Homie,
Brando Sando.
Homie really said, "Oh, you have a 5-year plan? Okay,
Yeah, this guy
the
has like a
rest of my
25.
life plan."
Oh my god.
This man is probably taking like life extenders with a plan to live to 150, right? To keep writing.
You got to finish I wonder how he's gonna finish it then. Like, what is his
for
master plan? I really
the
gotta
love
know.
for the love of the game, he's like
Yeah.
extending his life somehow.
Yeah, he's
I
making
wonder
a
if he'll
deal with some dark forces.
leave like extensive notes just in case,
I
because
feel like
he wrote the end of the Wheel of Time series after that author died.
Yeah.
So
that's
like,
Hmm.
true, and based on a ton of notes
yeah.
that he had made. So maybe, yeah, maybe that is part of his plan. But I,
God's plan.
I mean,
I mean,
like,
hopefully
but
not.
hopefully
We
not. But
believe we
like,
believe in his ability to extend
but
his lifespan indefinitely.
I believe that he will find vampirism
Well,
and will live forever so he can write forever.
he will find Ferrochemy and
We'll get
be able to
Miss
extend his life indefinitely. All right, where do we want to start with the discussion though? So since we did do like a big chunk of the book, we can just do like overall thoughts first. That way we can like cut to the chase with some of the bigger reveals, aka all of the reveals, since this is like the last book. Or do you want to go like part by part?
I think we should didn't we do that for um Iron Flame where we focused on big big like plot points instead
Yeah,
of like
okay, so we
part
can
part?
go part by part because yeah, a lot of this book was back and forth between the ensemble cast and like getting little bits
Mhm.
from them each chapter. But a lot of the reveal was even in the diary entries, I thought. So we can talk about those. But part 3. Try to see here. Oh yeah, so volcanoes are erupting and the world is ending,
ending. Yeah.
not unexpectedly.
And everyone is just going through it right now.
Yeah, and then Spook sees Kelsier, you know, the ghost of him, presumably. But I guess we can. Do we want to talk about spoilers for the later chapters now, and just because that way we can like tie it all back together? Because I'm reading
Yeah,
my notes. Okay,
let's
so
just
we
do
now
it.
know that Kelsier, ghosty guy speaking in Spook, is actually Ruin, similar to how quote unquote God was speaking through Zane's ear.
Mhm.
Um, and so I think at the time too we were talking about it maybe towards the end of the last book club where it was definitely like a ferrochemy thingy that Spook got impaled by that sword tip, and that's why Kelsey was like,
Yeah.
you can't remove that spike.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wonder why.
Well, that's hemalurgy.
Oh, hemalurgy, yeah.
Hemalurgy, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Um, yes. But
Uh-huh.
now we learned hemalurgy is also very precise. I likened it to acupuncture almost, where depending on
Yeah.
where you put the spike, different stuff happens. So that was cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's like hitting your inner chakra points or
Your
something.
chakras, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Um, let's see. Oh yeah, Ellen is having like a quarter life crisis, choosing between a protector or conqueror. The number 16 is becoming very apparent now. You
Hmm.
know, the new answer to the universe.
Mhm.
And
Um,
I'm scrolling through my notes. Feel free to add anything.
looking through.
Is this where we learned that Kolos are? Is that last part?
Not yet, I don't think.
Yes, we chapter 37. I wrote, "Oh shit, Koloss are made from hemalurgy."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wrote it somewhere here.
Yes, and then the
Yeah.
diary entry proceeding that chapter is when it explains what the blessings of Khandra are. So that was a question we
Yeah.
had last book club. And we found out that the blessings are like I don't think we learned that they're actually spikes as well, but it's just like what each blessing does to you, and that the blessing turns a Misrath into a Khandra, like a quote unquote sentient Khandra.
Yeah. But I think at this point I was like, oh, it's probably hemalurgy again somehow. Because like
Yeah.
if it's power inside a metal spike, it has to be
Yeah.
hemalurgy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Chapter 38 diary entry. I wrote a new term unlocked. Adonasium? Did we learn that? Or that hasn't come up again. Is that like supposed to be like an Easter egg thingy?
Wait, what?
It's a bigger part of the Cosmere. I
I
I mean, do
see.
you guys want spoils?
Spoils for what?
I mean, just
Well,
like
for every other book.
no, it's not really a spoiler, more like an explanation, I guess, because it doesn't really have. It's not like a plot point.
Mm.
It's just like a
Um,
definition
Like
of this
a
word.
lore
it's a
piece.
lore. I can
Okay.
explain.
Well, I mean, I guess you could. I'm okay having a general understanding because I would have to flip back to the diary entry. I don't know in what way they talked about adonasium, but is that something we'll be encountering in the Stormlight archives as well?
Not exactly. He's basically the god of the
Like the
whole
Oh,
entire Cosmere universe.
He's
interesting.
God
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
He's god.
He's the
Okay.
god of all
Oh,
gods.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then I mean the why his name is in Scandriel is it goes back into Ruin and Preservation's backstory, which we're gonna get into
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Ooh.
mm,
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to flip to chapter 37.
Wait.
To see what that part was about.
oh,
Oh,
Wait,
39.
30,
Andrea, is austere
38.
just that, but in that world? Theoretically?
mm,
Like, you don't, I just kind of want to know, yes, you don't have to go into it, but, or is that completely separate?
I don't remember. I thought there were three here.
Uh, okay.
Um, but
To be fair, like that book is only one, so there's like, it's not as fleshed out, so I guess we don't real, you might not know.
no, I mean that's from Warbreaker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, related. A shard.
Related? Okay. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, I found the
Um,
entry. It's definitely
wait,
like a
actually, like
Easter
I'm
eggy.
reading it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even now, I can barely grasp the scope of all of this. The events surrounding the end of the world seem even larger
We
than the final
digress.
empire. Okay, and the people within it. I sense shards of something from long ago, a fractured presence, something spanning the void. I have delved and searched and have only been able to come up with a single name, Adonasium. Who or what it was, I do not yet know. So that's why I figured it was definitely something deeper, like Cosmere-like, because we never talk about this again in the rest of the Mistborn books. So
Yeah.
Easter eggs, but I guess we'll find out as a larger part of the Cosmere.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
Grado Sandler's got plans.
I think I'm understanding now.
Oh no,
Also,
are
wait,
you?
I am, especially after reading Warbreaker. I think it like
Oh,
kind of makes sense to me.
Mhm.
Certain things.
okay, we'll get some
Not like
more.
fully. It's just like I'm getting the general concept, I think, of the Cosmere a little bit more.
What's that meme? It's like I'm piecing it together. No, it's like that
Oh,
BuzzFeed Unsolved meme.
I'm not sure.
I
There's a
forget.
BuzzFeed Unsolved me? Like meme?
It's
I
like
was thinking of the meme, like I understand it now, and then
I forgot what the word is, but okay. After that, we witnessed Tensoon embrace furryism. He
Oh
likes his
yeah,
dog form.
I have a
his
note that says he was
persona.
always a dog boy at heart.
Oh yeah, and this chapter is where we find out that the blessings themselves are iron spikes. And I wrote iron spikes, it's always spikes, god damn it.
Yeah, but then like immediately you're like, oh, that's why they to kill themselves at some time. Like that's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
that's in their contract. You're like, okay,
So Kendra
that
have
makes
two.
sense.
Kolos needs 5 spikes, but the more
Yeah.
spikes you put in a Kolos, the more inhuman they get.
I think it's the more spikes in general you put in someone, the
Yeah.
more inhuman you get, or something like that.
But the
Actually, no.
less like control of your own.
Less control. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is. Not
less
inhuman. Less
autonomy.
control. Because I think the Kolos thing is like dependent on where they place them, not the number. I think something like that.
I wrote this from the diary entry.
Mhm.
But next, oh yeah, I wrote so we're back to like Spook POV in one of the later chapters, and I wrote evil Kelsier voice, stop bothering Spook. This is not really Kelsier, I know it.
Yeah. No.
But I'm glad he
Mm.
didn't die. Spook's plot armor, very strong.
Also, oh wait, what chapter are we talking about right now?
Mm.
This is 41.
41. Oh, okay. I thought we were already at part 4.
All right, sorry.
Mm.
Drinking water. Gotta stay hydrated because my throat is still irritated. All right, so chapter 42, they wrote that Ruin is searching for the thing that preservation had taken from him, which we now know is his quote unquote body or his like other part of his form. That way he can
Mm.
return to full power and finally end this world. Uh, if an Inquisitor spike is left outside its body, the power will leak out over time. I don't think that really made any importance in the rest of this book, but that was just a cool fact.
I mean, they also mentioned
Mhm.
though, like if you spike someone, you should implant it as soon as possible. If you can't implant it directly, because
Yeah.
it always leaks out.
Yeah, yeah. I think just
Um,
reiterating that hemalurgy is like a reductive
Yeah.
art.
yes.
You're always losing something in the process.
Like energy conversion.
Hmm. In this
Um,
section, Spook becomes religious symbol.
yes,
And
the
Yeah.
survivor of the
uh,
flames.
Survivor of the flame.
he jumps out of a burning building wearing a cloak that's on fire, which is an excellent dramatic
Very
entrance.
dramatic.
I
Yeah,
do love the dramatic entrance that he did.
yeah, it's pretty sick. He's wearing a blindfold, like
Yes.
that's sick as hell.
Yeah, a
And then he
blind
always
man.
wears the burnt cape,
Yeah, a blind
saving a
man
child
jumping
from a
out of
burning
building.
building.
Yeah, blind dude jumping out of building with a burning cape is hard as hell.
Hmm. Pretty sick.
Let's see. Oh yeah, another. This is like when the characters in Kingdom Hearts get Norded. So Marsh stuck a spike in Penrod's heart, and I was right. Another nobleman down. He got
God,
spiked.
he got Norded.
He got Norded. No. So
Gotta nort
now
that boy.
Penrod is under Rune's control, which explains why I guess that Luthadel is in chaos and Ellen hasn't been able to get any word back from him or back and forth. Oh yeah, they go back to
Oh,
the ball. I wrote, "We love healthy trust in
whoa.
relationships." Cause
Yeah, very
Vin sent
sweet.
herself out by herself. Yo, what's up, Pistol? And then I wrote, oh,
Hello.
I wrote this smells like a trap because they held the ball in the ministry building, and I'm like, something's
Yeah.
definitely sus
Mhm.
is going on.
And we were
Yeah.
proved right immediately.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I liked Vin's costume change. She's like a real spy. She like tore off her dress and she was just wearing her normal like pants and shirt underneath. I'm like, dang girl, this is so cool. And
Yeah.
Ellen's special power is annoying people, because he was like the distraction and just basically debating Yeoman for like ad nauseum while Vin is just like searching the entire place.
Yeah, its superpower is the esoteric intellectual debate.
Yes.
Um,
Um. Yeah.
but
Anything else for part
this was
three?
the part at which I wrote a note that I was like, it's Vin's earring.
Yeah, I also wrote,
Oh, okay.
I
I
wrote the
yeah.
same thing. I went like the voice. Oh, Vince Erie, hundred
Yeah. Well,
percent.
because like a couple chapters before, there's like a point, he like makes a point to write that like a spike for hemalurgy doesn't have to be large. It's
Yeah,
more important like how fast you use it and where you place it. So,
yeah,
Hmm.
and then like when she's, I guess, infiltrating, she has like the Reen voice in her head. So I was like, oh, it's him. It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
basically anytime there's a voice in your head, it's gonna
It's
be
probably
evil
ruined.
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they pointed out it could be like any small metal piercing your body, I was like, oh god, that's the voice that's always been there.
Yeah.
No.
I was like,
And
that's she always wears that fucking
I,
earring that
I, al- I
her
also
sister was killed with.
yeah, I also did write, yeah, that like, oh, I was like, oh, her sister was also found like stabbed or some shit
I
like that.
honestly
I
did
was
not
like,
make that
oh
connection at
my
this point.
god.
I
I
figured out
did,
it was ruined, but I didn't know that her earring was the
it,
spike until like later on. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's why her sister
I
died.
thought the earring was a spike, and I knew that I like I kind of had hints at like the sister stuff. I didn't piece together though that the stuff that comes later of why she has extra powers through
Yes,
that
that was
spike though.
cool.
That I
That
didn't piece
explanation.
together until it actually got revealed. But I
Yeah.
knew the spike was probably from this through the sister being killed, because why else would they kill the sister? And the earring
Yeah.
was the spike.
There's a point at which later, I think when she's in prison, that she's like, "Oh, can I use the earring for anything?" And she explains that it's like silver, but it's coated bronze.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, "Oh, the bronze spike is why she could pierce copper clouds." But that's not like
Oh.
the full picture, because really it's because
Yeah.
the sister had or was a
I'm gonna be for
seeker,
real. I always forget
but
which metal is which, so
related.
it did not like
Yeah,
connect in my head.
I really only
I
remember bronze
wanted
as
to.
the seeker one. The physical ones, it's like the
Yeah,
same to me. Iron push, steel pull, something, pewter,
other way.
tin.
Yeah, I think it's iron
Yeah,
pull,
I
steel
have to
push.
like think about it hard, but I always remember it because it's called like a copper cloud. So the
Hmm.
opposite one is
Uh,
bronze.
We love alliteration.
Oh yeah, a copper cloud. But in any case, I was like, oh, that's why she has this power that no one does. So it was like partially true, but it's because yeah, the sister was a speaker. But I am glad that her like tragic backstory has a payoff, and she's not
Yes.
just like a
yeah,
like she's not just sad for the sake of being sad. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah.
that too, but it's like, oh, she's tragic
And
because like it has greater
I,
significance.
one thing I really like is that there is a like logical reason why she is a like stronger. Like
Hmm.
obviously there's innate talent to it, but the Pearson Copper class thing, there's like an explanation,
Yeah.
not just like she's magically stronger.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just doesn't have like main character syndrome.
Yeah,
It's not like she's just chosen. I mean, she is
yeah,
chosen, but like, yeah, something actually happened to make that go through.
yeah. Because it like for the longest time it was just like it was kind of just like I guess she's just inherently stronger. I guess. Uh,
Yeah. Well, the rest of her powers is because her bloodline is relatively pure,
yeah,
because her father was a really powerful obligator.
yeah,
That's like her general more powerfulness.
yeah.
But yeah, the piercing the copper club
Because the
stuff.
only other person who could pierce it was the Lord Ruler, which makes sense why he could, because he
Yeah.
literally is the strongest probably to ever exist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Um, all right.
Um, yeah, so that was one of the big reveals of part 3. Part 4, where do we end up? Oh yeah, so Ruin's still talking to her, and that's kind of when we find out that it's Ruin wearing the face of Reen to speak to Vin. Um, yeah, and then you get more hints that the Kelsier voice in Spook's head is also Ruin, and then the Mistfallen, which are the soldiers that fell ill to the mist for longer, are being treated as scapegoats in Ellen's army because they're like being like discriminated against basically.
Mhm.
Mm.
And then yeah, one of the dudes punched Demo because Demo's Mistfallen, and then Ellen's like, "Nah, he's gonna get executed as per standard operating procedure." I'm
Yeah,
like, "Damn,
was
they're gonna make an example."
that was hardcore.
Yeah, because we never really seen Ellen like not ruthless, but like so, you know, I guess I don't know, sticking to his more or sticking to his
Dictates.
yeah, sticking to his ruler like necessities versus like what he feels is the right thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, Vin's been trapped in the cavern under Yeoman's thing because surprise, it was a trap the entire time.
Hmm.
And
And Elle is
uh,
outside, absolutely crashing out.
what do you
Just
mean?
absolutely crashing out.
Yeah.
Yo, he's crashing out. He's just going on rampages, killing Colas and shit.
Yeah.
He's crashing
Taking
out because
out
his
his
girl's
fury.
gone. Understandable crash out. Understandable crash out though.
Yeah. He's taking it out in a well, what he thinks is a productive way.
Yeah,
What seemed like a productive way at the time.
yeah.
Um, I will say though that all these like the little epithets before the chapters that are like they're like very in depth of everything that happened and like what they know. And this whole time until the very end, I'm like, how is one person getting all this information? Because like people are not telling people things, and then like later on, people die before they can explain stuff. And this whole time, I'm like, how are they gonna find out all this stuff? And then it's like, oh, okay, well, just omnipotence, I guess,
Yes.
Yeah.
or
The-
omniscience. But yeah, I'm glad that paid off because I was like, wow, these are really like good. Like they really know what's going on. How are they doing that? But
She finds the metal plate in the cavern she's trapped in. Oh, also she's been like opening cans of soup with her bare hands because like, damn, that's kind of rough. Um, oh yeah, that's funny that she had no can opener, and I think she mentioned they must have like taken the can openers out of the cavern or something.
yeah,
Like, damn, who knew that such a commonplace invention would be so useful? But the metal plate in that cache was something along the lines of the Lord Ruler saying, "Well, if I'm dead, this means this shit is no longer my responsibility, and like it is what it is."
yeah. It's like, sorry, I have no solution for you, basically.
Yeah, he's like, "I tried my best, and it is what it is." Which he did a pretty damn good job keeping the world in check for like 1,000 years. So props to him. He is not that evil. The Lord Ruler was the one to hide Ruin's body, it sounds like, which we now know is the case.
I think that's the
Um,
only thing he did well.
yeah, he
Yeah,
accidentally spun the Earth out of orbit, but it's okay. It's okay. He hid Ruin's body.
Like all the problems that the world had was his fault, basically.
Yeah, I think I
I
forget
don't
who
know
said this, but go
do
ahead.
we know why he wanted to move the world in the first place? Like, why would that be the thing that you do?
I think he like accidentally
Did
did
he
it.
accidentally do it?
He just like elbowed it out of orbit. He's like, oh shit, and then he tried to
Yeah,
put it
he it
back,
was
but it
an
was still too
accident.
close.
And then like
Okay.
he tried to move it out the way, and then he made it almost freeze over. He was like, "Fuck!" So he moved
And
it
put
back
it back
again, and then just added all the mists and all that
and
shit.
then
The
changed
action.
everything.
Yeah. Which to be fair, if I was given God powers but no understanding how to use it, probably would do the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I
It's
probably
like
would
at
have
least
done
he
worse.
fixed it.
I don't think I would have even come up with a plan to fix it. I think I would have just went, ugh, okay.
Oops, I had time to start over, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
Dang.
Uh, oh yeah, so the sick burn, I forget who said this in that chapter, but it said the Lord Ruler had been given 1,000 years to worry about what would happen to the land if he were killed before power returned to the well, and even he hadn't been able to come up with a way out of the problem.
Damn.
But he tried his best. He gets a gold star.
Yeah. We
Uh,
know now that
mhm,
he became more tainted over time by ruin, so
mhm,
Hmm.
he didn't start probably as evil as he ended up.
yep, that's very true. Back to Sazed and Spook POV. Sazed is now teaching civil engineering. Good for him.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
he was having a blast.
Yeah, building I don't even know, like a dam, basically.
He was building
Hmm.
like a pulley system or something like that, right?
Yeah, for like the dam gates or whatever they
Yeah,
call it, the
or like a
floodgates.
levee system kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wrote, this is how Sazed can get a good dose of serotonin, just what he needed.
Yeah. They're just like, say that we have a puzzle. Can you help us with our puzzle? We need your help. And he's like, well, it's not really looking at the copper mines if I'm just, looking at engineering. I'm like, he wants to come back.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Something interesting I wrote that makes sense now. So, I guess spoiler alert for things about the myths and why,
The
even though the myths
nobles,
are supposedly good, they're killing people. Wait, hold on. My
the
work is
nobles
still
being
texting.
immune, right?
Yes, the nobles being immune part. So I
Mhm.
wrote that
Yeah.
Spook says that noblemen are for whatever reason immune to the mist sickness. And we now know that the mist sickness is due to the fact that the
This
mist is trying to make people
to
snap to
snap.
elementic powers, and the noblemen have already gone through a beating to get them to snap if they hadn't already. So that is the reason. I saw
Mhm.
this point now. I'm like, oh shit, that's like a good like foreshadowing.
Yeah. Because at first I thought it was just in my head. I thought I was like, oh, maybe it's because of like the genetic differences that the Lord Ruler did. That was my first thought. Because
Mhm.
like I would never have thought the other thing. I'm gonna be for real. I was not
Yeah.
cooking with this one.
No, I didn't uh get the crumbs of that until the reveal, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I noted it because I wrote, oh, that's an interesting fact, but I didn't know what to make of it at that time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or I got the like number 16 for 16 medals, but I was
Yeah.
like, I don't, but then what does that mean? Like I'm partway there, but yeah, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, that makes sense. He did a very good job at sprinkling crumbs
Yeah.
early on.
But during L's crash out too, during this part, like he's just like a one-man army, very reminiscent of what Vin did to Set's like army in Luthadel, just killing all the Koloss. And then he's like covered in ash and blood, and the villagers ask him if he's the Lord Ruler.
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
Oh.
I'm trying to read. So, Vin is still trapped. Oh, but then Yeoman sends Teldin, the Ellen's noble friend, and some Scott servants down to talk to her. She winds up just like giving in to the gamble anyway, because there's really nothing else she could do. Um, oh yeah, the Koloss turned their human victims into more Koloss. And Ellen can't control the Colossus this time for some hint some reason, but now we know it's because Ruin is controlling them.
Mhm.
Which, in hindsight, I don't know why they didn't think that was like a thing he could do.
Like just control people's minds.
Because like I feel like he kind of proved he was doing it. I guess it's from our perspective. Never mind.
Yeah, it's hard to keep straight who knows what.
Yeah.
And that's because different
Yeah.
people are getting different information. So like we having all the information are like, yeah, he controls the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors are controlling the Koloss. But I don't remember like what Ellen and Vin know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Tensoon also comes back and picks up Kelsey's bones,
Mm.
Yep.
And he be-
just in case.
Just in case. I mean,
and
those
he
are some valuable
yeah,
bones, right? So
and
he
he
Yeah.
should keep
becomes
on to
a
them.
bald Kelsier to tell people to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I'll
like,
just
yeah,
wear a hood.
imitates them. But that also played out in the end, right? Because we now found out that the people who saw like the second coming of Kelsier, aka Tensoon, wearing his bones,
Mhm.
they were able to escape Luthadel quick enough to get
Mm.
to the pits.
Yeah.
So that was good. But we also found out that Tensoon had to torture all this information out of Orsur in the beginning to imitate him, which I'm like, dang, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty hardcore.
Oh, also something we forgot to mention, Spook's gang captured Beldre, and I was like, you
Mm.
poor sweet summer child, because like she just thought she could out and leave. But they're like, where are you going? Like you're stuck with us now.
Yeah, I was like, damn, Belger really is an idiot.
Yeah.
That's I think the point at which they're like, "Oh, you were a noble woman, like for real."
Yeah, for real, for real. Spook can't get drunk while using pewter, which is cool. That'd be a nice skill to have.
But don't
And
people
the
like
diary.
want to get
Oh,
drunk?
what were you saying?
Don't people want to get drunk?
I guess, but
Or I
I
guess
guess if you
it
want
would
to
be
not get
nice.
drunk
It would be
after
nice
too
to be
long.
able to just turn it off. You know
Yeah,
what I
Yeah.
you
mean?
have the
Like be
ability.
oh, I'm having fun. Oh, I'm starting to get sick. Pewter on, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm good now.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, you won't make it. You won't get home sick.
Like an instant
And
second
it's
win, basically.
yeah. And it's like a powerful tool for spies, because always
Hmm.
in like
Oh,
spy movies, they're
true.
always like pretending to drink a drink while other people get drunk to get information.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm chewing my breakfast. Okay, chapter 53, diary entry. It wrote that the balance between preservation and ruin was broken because preservation was the one to break the pack when
Mhm.
ruin was promised that it could end the world if preservation was allowed to create sentient life. But then preservation is like, actually, I don't want to do that anymore. So he tried to, I guess, disallow ruin by imprisoning him.
Mhm.
Uh, okay.
Yeah, that was interesting. So it was like kind of like from our perspective, like obviously we want like humanity to survive, but from like a god's perspective, it's like, yeah, well, that is not like morally wrong. They did make a deal.
Yeah,
Preservation
Yeah.
broke the deal.
right.
Like he's not being evil just to be evil. I mean, he is, I guess, because
He's
it's
evil by
He's
that's just
default.
its nature, but it's
Yeah.
not on a moral
and
perspective.
it's not he's not evil. He's not wrong where like technically like he was part of the reason why they all got to become a thing, you know?
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah.
This was an
And
important scene. Oh, no, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that just like the moral of the whole story is the importance of balance.
Mm.
Yes. Overall, yeah. If this was an English literature class, what would the themes be?
Yeah, themes of balance, themes of faith and trust.
Yeah. I wonder what the Spark Notes like critical thinking questions are for this book.
Oh, should we have gotten some discussion questions?
I mean, we can do it at the end, but I'm pretty sure our discussion is
Maybe,
going to take up the time anyway.
maybe we should instead of just like going over the book in Stormlight, maybe we should actually do discussion questions
We
Maybe
to spi-
could.
we do.
to spice up our book club
Yeah,
streams.
we get more scholarly as time goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have lots, so we'll speed through this. But one important scene was when Alan was about to give up in the waist high ash. He saw the mist spirit for the last time, and then the mist spirit tried to write in the ash, but Ruin was changing it, and all it said was "I will kill you, death, death, death." And I'm like, bro, I would have pissed my pants if that happened.
Yeah, I started cracking up at that. I was like, "What?"
But Alan was smart and was like, "Oh no, this is definitely Ruin just like fucking with me." So then he was playing charades with the mist spirit, who we learned is actually preservation
Preservation.
itself.
I just like
Oh,
that
hi.
Ruin changed it to like the dumbest sentence ever.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
Rune
will
wasn't
kill
paying
you.
attention at that point, all right?
Ron is not the smartest one of the shards.
Uh,
Yeah.
true.
He's like a middle schooler. He's like, you suck.
Yeah, suck
Yeah.
dick.
He's
Ellen,
like,
Ellen
he's like,
seems
LOL.
lame.
he's like, take the L, you butthead.
I mean, can you imagine? He has the ability to rewrite shit, and he still didn't end up achieving what he wanted to.
Yeah, he still like did it. He overdid it. You know what I mean?
He ever did it.
Hmm.
In this one section, in all the other ones, he was pretty sneaky with it. But this time, like I said, I don't think his mind was focused on wherever Ellen was at the time. So it was
Because
just like,
he
you
kind
know,
of
Yeah, he wasn't
acts
ready.
he kind of acts like a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
in some ways,
Yeah.
Like obviously he's a lot more scheming than an actual child, but in a lot like he has like tantrums almost.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's ruined at its core.
I guess
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. I think because they have like, yeah, they don't have the full breadth of emotions,
Mm.
Oh, and yeah,
you
that was
know?
something
Like,
Vin said at the end was that he doesn't have like he can't understand or comprehend emotions.
hmm he just have, yeah. I mean, it's not its fault, it's nature, but
Yeah.
Mm.
And Andre, you came back just in time because at this point, when preservation is like breathing its last breath, we see like the human body form of it like precipitate out of thin air. And they described it as someone short of stature, with black hair and a prominent nose. I'm like, is this another Easter egg relating to the Cosmere?
yeah, I was like, who is this dude? I
Yeah.
didn't ever
N-
explain that.
Not exactly. More like explaining the nature of the shards, I would say, because they
Mm,
are people.
yeah.
Yeah, I understood that they do have like a people form in there. But this is not exactly like a named character elsewhere, or you're like, is that a spoiler to say yes or no?
I- Is there a book that go like is this all that shard stuff something that you get from reading all of them, or is there a book where it kind of goes into it specifically,
There,
or a
you kind of
series?
get it from like reading all of them, but also there is a specific book of, I mean, now we're gonna get into world hoppers.
Mm.
Mm,
But um I've just kind of gotten it from reading the wiki, to be honest,
Uh,
because then I also like, and then I read about the world hoppers, and then there's a specific book about them, but I forget which one it is. But after
mm,
you read Oathbringer, which is the, I think it's the fourth book of the Stormlight Archive, they
Oh,
really
Jesus
start
Christ.
interlap like talking about the different shards of Adonalsium and who inherited those shards, what they did with them,
mm.
what
and how it becomes like a bigger part of the Cosmere.
Interesting. Well, we have a lot to read then before we get to that.
you learn about world hoppers in multiple books. Apparently, Mistborn Secret History, The Lost Metal, Oathbringer, and Rhythm of War, Tress of the Emerald Sea. That's where they
Mm,
specifically talk about world hopper info. Apparently.
Yeah, the well, first time I've read about them was in Oathbringer because I didn't read the
Mm.
other ones. And I
yeah.
haven't read Rhythm of War, which is why I'm excited to read Stormlight Archive because at the time Rhythm of War came out, it had been like a couple years after Oathbringer, and I had completely forgotten anything.
Well, now you get to enjoy it with us again.
Mm, yes.
All right,
Oh,
let's.
I need to
Yeah.
read this book. Mistborn Secret History. This sounds interesting.
Is that like a
Sorry.
spin-off?
Feel like a side story.
It's a novella
A
telling the
guide-in?
story of Kelsier from the time of his death at the hands of the Lord Ruler until
Mm.
Scadrial is remade by Harmony. Oh, it's like an afterlife
Oh.
Kel story. I like that. I'm gonna read. I need to
Ah.
find this book somewhere. Sorry.
Okay, I'm trying to skip through more.
Wow. Wait, that's fun because, or like the way what you just described, because I don't think it's ever referred to as harmony in this book,
No,
but
we don't hear that.
Oh.
but in my physical book, there's the first chapter of Alloy of Law, the next Mistborn series, which I
Hmm.
read, and that's how they curse. Like instead of
Harmony.
saying
Oh,
Lord Ruler, yeah, one of the characters says Harmony something something. So I was like, oh, is that
Another
is
god.
that the name of the new
oh, you're
god?
right. That
Yeah.
makes sense, which makes sense. And I literally just clicked on it because I can't help but look at stuff. And it
Okay,
makes
maybe
sense.
don't read that until we read the second
No, yeah, yeah,
trilogy.
yeah. I'm not gonna read that out loud right now because it actually will. It's like the ending of the book.
Uh-oh. Yeah, all right. So we'll
Yeah.
save that whenever we get to the second trilogy, or whenever we read it by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay, I'm trying to
downloading.
skip to more stuff. Okay, we're in part 5 now. Oh wait, okay, hold on. Oh no, so before, right, the climax of part 4 at the end was when Spook confronts Quellion, and they pull out Quellion's spike because surprise, he got Norded at some point, and yeah, Spook was smart and extinguished his tin so he couldn't feel anything, and that's when he rushed into the burning builder to pull the lever, so he was able to flood the streets and all that jazz. And then he pulls out his spike and Quellion's spike, and he passes out. And that's when I wrote, "Oh, I hope he survives," because at that point I actually didn't know if Spook like had died definitively at that point or not.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in part 5. Ten soon makes it to Urtio and speaks to Breeze and Sazed. Um, what else? Oh yeah, Yeoman sent 20 guards to fetch Vin just in case she like made a ruckus. This is
With
giving
no
Luigi
medals, yeah.
vibes. Oh yeah, we're trying to suss out if Yeoman has the ATM stash, but we know that that is false now, and Yeoman just happens to be an ATM misting, which we also didn't know existed. But it makes sense though, because I was also wondering that just like in general, and I'm like, okay, maybe it doesn't because it's like a special metal, and then there isn't someone who can just burn ATM.
By the way, Miana, Secret History is in the collection of Sanderson books that you sent me.
Ooh, nice. Okay, good.
So it's only
That
like
means I have it too.
265 pages digital, so it's probably really short.
Oh, that's a short
Mm.
story. I feel like I don't want to read it now until I read the next trilogy though, because I don't know anything about
But it's
Gadriel and
6.5.
Harmony.
But it's 6.5. Technically, you're
What's six?
supposed to read it after Mistborn.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I should read it after. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. If it's 6.5, you mean that's like
Uh,
6.5 books. You have to read the first two of the
That
next quadrilogy because I think it's 4 books.
yes, you are
our
right.
first three.
So you're right. I
That's
guess I should wait.
Yeah, first 3. Yeah. All right. Ash is
okay.
everywhere.
Man, but I want to see Afterlife Kel.
Me too.
Oh well. Anyway, all right.
Oh yeah. The Southern Dominance is apparently covered in lava and swallowed by earthquakes. So ripped to the Southern Dominance. Um. Oh yeah, say it was ironic that Sazed tried to feed Spook pewter to help recover him, but Spook had just lost his pewter burning abilities when he removed his spike. So then Sazed's like, okay, nothing's wrong with him at all. And I'm like, Sazed, you were so close. You were like days, like too late.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, then Spook said something which hit Sazed really hard about trust. Trust is about giving someone else power over you and power to hurt you. Like oof, that's true.
Wow.
So true, bestie.
So
Tensoon
true.
with the big lore drop. The first generation of Khandra are the Pac-Man that accompanied Rashek in the beginning. And I wrote, oh my god. And they traded
Yeah.
their Feruchemi for immortality because the Lord Ruler did not want Feruchemi propagating. So yeah, that was Tensoon and the Khandra. So like, who knew that all the secrets for like the rest of the lore like lied with the Khandra? Because that was pretty. We got like a lot of stuff out of Tensoon from this book.
And Soon kind of said
Yeah.
about like a little bit, and then that's why when I said that, because Soon mentioned ruin and preservation in the
Yes.
previous book, and that's what sent Lois into his
Uh-oh.
search.
We'll get to that at the end.
Yeah,
Eh,
but
Oh yeah. At the end, I want to know exactly what you read, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, when we get to the epilogue.
what did I read exactly?
Well, you can think about it. We gotta move
Yeah.
Okay,
on.
yeah.
All right, we're getting close though. But oh yeah, so Vin figured out that it was Ruin stringing her all along and making her read the plaques because Ruin can't read for shit in metal, which I found hilarious. But I mean they didn't really give an explanation why, but I'm just like, okay, metals are powerful. Maybe he can't read it because it's bright and all that, like what we saw from Vin God POV. But
Yeah.
he was also the one making her kind of obsessed with the ATM, even though it didn't make sense in this economy. that like ATM's basically
ATM in
worthless.
this economy?
Yeah, ATM this economy? The hell?
I do like that at first. Vin was like, he can't read. And then she's like, wait, no, he can read.
Just not in
Just
the
like
metal.
just not in metal. Okay. Her real power was literacy.
What else?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Spook's alive still, so that's good. Um, Ellen said something kind of ableist about Set when they were almost gonna storm
Yeah.
Fadrex, but then he's like, he's a paraplegic. What's he gonna do? Bite us? I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. I
That
thought
was
that too.
hilarious
I was
though.
like, damn.
It's all in good fun. They're best buds. So then Vin is. Oh yeah, Ruin took control of all their Ruin took control of Ellen's Koloss and is having them attack Ellen's men while they're also between Yeoman's army. And Vin is with Yeoman trying to persuade Yeoman to, join their side. And then Marsh shows up and Marsh and Vin are going at it, and then Vin's earring shoots straight through Marsh's head but does not kill him. I forget who said this, but then we find out definitively that Ruin is not the same thing as the Mists, so we know Mists are of preservation. And Marsh still has that tiny bit of hashtag willpower to resist Ruin.
Mhm. This is when finally she can call on the mist again because he's like choking her out
Yeah,
and she gets mist power.
yep.
And I was like, the earring.
The
And then she
earring?
puts it
Yeah.
back in. I was like, damn it.
And then at this point I couldn't remember if all the time she called upon the Mist was when she had the earring out, but then we found out later because it just like spells it out for you. It tells you where the earring was when she was
Yeah.
calling upon the Mist. I'm like, oh, that's good because I didn't exactly remember.
Well, I thought once I think at this point when she like the earring comes out and then she can use this power, it's like, oh, it's the earring. But the last time she used them was when she was imprisoned by the Lord Ruler, so he would have taken all of her metal. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that makes sense. She wouldn't have had it. Yeah. Oh, also, rip to Goradel,
Oh
their
yeah.
general
Yeah.
that takes valiantly takes the message and then is absolutely just turned eviscerated by Marsh.
Yeah, that
Just
was
murked.
pretty gruesome. But in the end that was the message that saved Vin basically. So shout out to Goradel, the real MVP.
Mhm. Yeah.
I wrote 10
And
soon is committing. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say we also find out that when Marsh is in like a killing frenzy, he can't be controlled by Ruin, sort of similar to the Koloss,
Yes. Yep.
which is sad, a sad conundrum.
I know. Yeah, because the Marsh POV was like pretty intense, and I was like, oh man, his little sliver of humanity is like powerless, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, Tensoon is working with Sazed to get Sazed back to the Kandra homeland, since we now know the first generation were terrorist Pac-Men. I wrote Tensoon is committing all sorts of animal atrocities by combining a pig and a horse. He's just like at this point nothing is sacred. We're just gonna combine all the
Horse.
animals. Oh yeah, and we find out that the Kandra homeland is located next to the pits. Meet me in the pit.
Wow. What if we kissed at the pits
At the
of
Yeah,
pits.
what do we
Tensoon?
get next? Not the pits of House Halfson, the homeland pits.
Yeah.
The better pits, the livable pits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vin is trying to, because Vin doesn't know that her earring is the thing that Ruin is using to talk to her and preventing her from using the mist power, so she's trying to put herself in danger again, to try to call upon the mist. And I wrote this is kind of like Bella trying to kill herself.
Literally, what I was thinking too.
He's like, I can see it again.
Yeah. And I was like, Vin, you're gonna try, but I don't think that's gonna help. As they said, Sazed finally makes it to the first gen Chandra, and they called him a world bringer, so new word unlocked again. And they have their original human bones, which is cool. So we see them for the first time.
Yeah. And they're all
Uh,
like dewy. They're all
yeah,
dripping.
Dewey. They're all mossy. They're a
They
little
all got
mushy.
that. They got that
Yeah.
drip.
First gen drip.
First ginger. The real human bone. They don't make bones like they used to.
Kids these days.
Yeah, kids these days using their glittery whatever the hell
Crystal
crystal
bones.
bones.
What happened to good old human bones?
Yeah, calcium.
Oh. I do like though when Sazed is back in the homeland, he's like thinking about he's like make their own bones. I really do have a new culture to explore. He's like getting excited again. I was like, the baby is back.
Yes, his will to live is
Fight,
back.
fighting depression with intellectualism.
Um, I'm texting my work people back. Okay. We Yeoman talks about the 16 medals for real: 4 physical, 4 mental, 4 enhancement, 4 temporal. This is where we
And
find
we're
out the
missing
miss.
2
Yeah,
temporal.
yes, there's 2 left that we have yet to explore. I think
So
those
wait,
are explored
are
in the
the
next.
two temporal is adium and
And gold.
electrum?
Oh,
Electrum.
Gold. I thought it was
Gold?
gold.
Well,
Is it
there's
just
four
gold?
temporum, four temporal. So
Four
golds,
temporal.
and then
Gold.
because it's gold and
Oh,
elect.
you're
Hang
right.
on, there's a thing. There's a glossary in the back of my book.
I always tell you
I'd say
the
the
metals are
alloys, yeah, the alloys of
Yeah,
atium and gold.
adium and gold. That's what it
gold
is.
and
Yeah, you're right.
electrum, and then atium and well, we don't know this word yet. So do you want to know it? It's in the
No, don't tell us.
glossary.
Don't tell us.
Okay.
Wait, it's in the glossary?
Yeah, in the Ars Arcanum, in the back
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
that's
book,
after the end of the book.
of the physical book, anyway. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
but
look it up because I want to know. I forgot
yeah.
about it.
I mean, it does. Like you can assume what it does because we know what the other ones do. But yeah, it does say the name of it.
Oh, yeah. So wait, what are the 2 missing
I
metals?
think
Are
they
there?
don't like the characters don't know about the other
No,
2.
like because it's 4
I think
4 4, right?
they don't know Electrum yet.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't know electrum?
That's the only one that I can think
When
of.
did we learn about
Yeah.
that though? I don't
That's what I
remember.
was trying to figure out too. I'm like blanking out when we learned.
In the last book, I think, because it's to see your own future. And there was Vin got it sometime, very briefly, but I don't remember the context.
Hmm.
But I don't know if they knew it or maybe she like knows of it from that one time, but they haven't like really figured out how to like make it or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, when
Oh,
did she
I
do that? I
forgotten
don't
that's where the
remember.
names came from.
Hmm?
No, the name Atium. I have forgotten why it was named that way.
Oh, is this deeper lore that we haven't
Oh,
gotten to yet?
deep lore.
Is it deep lore or is it like a play on the word atom?
It's deep lore.
Okay, do not spoil us the deep lore yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Did you
sorry.
read Wax and Wayne?
No, I have not read Wax and Wayne actually.
Okay.
Did you?
I did not. I did not. This is a are we reading Wax and Wayne together? Like what's our plan with the rest of the
I do want to read that series, but if we're gonna be reading, I mean, how long will
Stormlight?
it take for us to read the Stormlight archives? Like,
Ooh,
Like
that was gonna
4 years.
Bro,
yeah.
well, the
I
ones
think
that are
by
out, the
I
ones
think
that
by
are
the
out.
time Mistborn Era 3 comes out.
Wait, how many books are out though? Only like 5,
Okay.
right?
Well, there's
But they're
also
much
the
longer.
novellas.
There's the
Yeah.
novella. It's a lot.
Well, I know they're like
Yeah.
twice as long, but
But I think they recommend reading. I mean, Sanderson recommends reading Wax and Wayne after I think the second book in Stormlight, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. But I mean, but that's just like a recommendation. You can technically read any book whenever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, if we get not if we get tired of it, but like if we feel like it's a good insertion to read the first 2 books of Stormlight and then go to the quadrilogy, that's probably fine. But
But
yeah,
when the
eventually I'd like
truth
to read
came
all of
out
them.
already, oh my god.
What came
Andrea,
out?
Andrea wants to read Win and Truth,
Which one's that? The fifth one?
the latest one.
Yeah, the fifth one.
Mm,
So in all, there's 5 books plus the 2 novellas in the Stormlight Archive.
And he said there's gonna be 10 books total, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
damn.
And where does that bring us in the Brando Sando timeline, Lewis? Like
I think
2016?
bro,
2070.
bro, the 10th book has no release date. Has
I know.
Yeah.
not even an estimated release date. Actually, funny enough, a majority of his books in his list do not have estimated dates because it's way too far ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you said the latest one out was what, like 2040? I'm like,
No,
what?
no, no, that's not. I don't think that's the next thing coming out, but that's the next Mistborn era.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Dang. He's prepared.
Because he has like he has so many things on his list. I mean, you saw that chart of that Mistborn thing. A majority of that wasn't
Yeah.
even out
Yeah.
yet.
Crazy. All right. Well, let's finish this book first, and then
Yes.
we'll
Oh, we got
decide
10
where
more
we're going.
chapters. So Vin's trying to fight to the death at Credit Shaw. This is where we figure out that Vin's sister was the Seeker, and the earring is her hemorrhagic spike, which is why she can pierce copper clouds because her sister was a Seeker. And yeah, this is when I found out because I didn't really piece together that the earring was the spike. So
Mm.
good for y'all that did, because that's some good sleuthing.
Yeah, I didn't
S-
realize it either until
until they
also
said it
the
right.
end. Yeah.
But that message that evil Marsh, controlled Marsh read and then killed the messenger for about Spook, saying that any small piece of metal could, act as a spike. I think Marsh used his little sliver of humanity to like rip the earring off of her at that moment in
Yeah.
time, right when Marsh was
Mhm.
like literally about to like behead her, basically.
Hmm.
And then she was able to call upon the mists, and all the mists are like rushing and swirling towards her, and everyone else in the world was like, why are the mists like, flowing like that? And she
Mm.
eventually like sucks all of it in, and then Marsh is like, I don't think she's about to kill Marsh, but like she's sucking in all this like mist power, and then she just like vanishes right in front of Marsh's eyes. And that at that point I was like, she's definitely a god now, and she ain't getting a corporeal body back at any time.
Yeah.
But I
But
do
not
like
before
that.
she absolutely flattens a building.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that was cool. Krennic
I do
Shaw.
I do like they explain the relationship between like the metal nugget, the liquid in the pool, and the mist themselves, and they're just the
Hmm.
different states of matter of
Yeah.
preservation's power.
He's like, physics still applies,
There's
even
still
to god power.
physics in this world.
When do they turn into plasma?
Yeah, that's the fourth one. Maybe it's related to the metal we don't know about. The fourth state of matter. I typoed diary. I just realized, and I wrote
But
dairy
there
entry. The dairy entry for chapter 73 said she was simply the only child Ruin could find who was in a position to gain the right hemorrhagic spike. There were other reasons, of course, but even Ruin didn't know them. So I was like, foreshadowing Cosmere lore.
Yeah.
Yes, and then confirmed Yeoman is a seer who is an atium misting.
Which was
Yeah,
a
that's
cool ass
cool.
reveal.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is a dope ass reveal.
I mean, I figured because we did see him burn atium, and like I think there
Yeah,
was a reason why he couldn't be a Mistborn because he wasn't fighting. Basically, like he's definitely not a fighter.
but I
So the
think I
most he can
picked
do is like
I feel like
defensive moves.
I feel like I picked up Vin's get like suspiciousness because I was like, I think it's just all a play. It's all a
Uh,
play.
He's faking it.
he's speaking. Nah, it turns out he really can't do
He
much.
really can't do much aside from which it's kind of interesting. Like if you're only an adium burner and you don't train, you kind of use. I mean, you're not useless,
Yeah.
but
But you
but
can
you're
only
I mean,
really
dodge.
not. You're not that effective.
having the Sharingan without being able to be a ninja, like, so what's
Yeah.
the point that you see the punch coming, but you can't dodge it?
Yeah, if your physical abilities aren't good enough, it's like, what are you supposed to do? You just get to see yourself get punched 2 seconds before.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
punched twice basically.
But he was
The
still
God
pretty good.
Tear. What were you saying?
I said he was still pretty good.
Yeah, he did
He
dodge
could
all of
dodge
them.
in, but it would suck though if you were like a duralumin or or like what's the other one? Aluminum burner, and you just like have no idea your whole life because like you have no other metals. Like
True.
you can't know.
Damn, the
Like
most
there's a whole
useless ability.
contingent, a whole 16th of 2/16 of people are born with a power they can't use at all.
Rip. Well, no, you can't use aluminum to burn duraluminum. Well,
I will
like
say,
that would just not
if
do
I was
anything.
born an Elementor and I got fucking like aluminum or duralumin, I'd be so pissed.
You're the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
The most
You wouldn't
You're like
even
useless.
know. You
slightly
wouldn't
above a
even be mad.
ska.
There's no way to
Yeah.
know.
If
Yeah.
somehow I learned, I would be mad.
I feel like you could
Yeah.
feel the metal
And
within you because you know how they feel it.
and I'm making it everyone else's problem.
The thing is, like, are you gonna live your life just swallowing random metals and hope that you can burn them? Because that's kind of like the life of a misting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Maybe you like lick too many like aluminum things and now you have like a store of aluminum in you and you're like, what is this? And it feels like you have indigestion. Yeah, and you try burning it, but all it does is take the indigestion away and you didn't do anything else.
Oh.
But yeah, the god Ter is preservation. So in the Terrace religion, they call preservation Ter, apparently. The hero of ages is supposed to be the successor to preservation in the Terrace religion. And Kampar, the second generation Khandra, tries to stage a coup because more Khandra lore, the resolution is basically mass suicide of the Khandra if Ruin were to ever take control of them, so they would unspike themselves and just turn back to Mithraths if Ruin tried to take control. And Kampar is, I don't know how. Oh, I guess Ruin's just speaking through his spikes in general, but Kampar's like, nah, we're not killing ourselves. Like, you guys are just
Kampara's-
crazy.
I wrote Kampar a bitch twice, I realized, in this
Yeah.
chapter. Separately,
It's true.
I think.
It's true. So Kanpar is trying to like lead a group of the remaining Khandra out while everyone else did their final duty and did the resolution, and we can pour one out for Khandra Kine. Thank you for your sacrifice.
We salute your
Yeah.
service.
You salute yourself.
Yeah, can we salute your service? All right, now we're getting to the good parts. Every chapter was like a whole like bomb in terms of like lore and
Dude.
progression.
I was reading with like a serious furiousness.
Yeah. So, all right, chapter 76, Vin's the god now, I guess. So now she's ephemeral, she's
Do
all-seeing.
you ever just fuck around and become a god?
Yeah,
God.
it's always
Yeah,
the
you might fuck
teenagers, you
around,
know?
become a god. Who
It's
knows?
always teenagers fighting a god or like accidentally becoming a god.
Becoming
So
a god.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, this is some
Well,
Final
you have
Fantasy
to fight a
shit,
god
bro.
first, and then
This
yeah,
is
you
some-
become a
to take
god.
his powers.
This book is some Final Fantasy shit, bro.
It is. But so now Vin's a god, and I guess we don't know what her final fate is yet, but she whispers to Ellen that he should go to the pits where his people are, who escaped Luthadel. They're with the remaining Terrace refugees, basically. Sazed is locked in counter prison, and the diary entry in this one does confirm that the times that Vin drew upon the mist was when her earring was not like in her ear. So that's solid confirmation that it was her spike. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is about the resolution. Yeah, here's when the Khandra do their self-sacrifice. Pour one out for our Khandra friends, I wrote. And
at this point, I was like, oh no, I'm so sad. Like that Tensoon like dies, or whatever is no longer a character in the book, and that was before like everyone else.
Yeah, you're like, no,
oh,
Tensoon.
It just keeps coming.
Yes. This is a question I still have though. So the diary entry said the deepness is just like, is the deepness Ruin itself, or is the deepness like something that Ruin created as like a lie?
Is a myth and lie that Ruin created to make people fear the mists, which they should never have had to fear in the first place.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, I wasn't sure because they described Ruin's like body as that dark cloud at the well. So I'm like, was that the deepness, aka the deepness is Ruin? But okay, makes sense.
The deepness was just was always a lie because he
lie.
needed an enemy for people to like kind of have like a great enemy that they needed a hero to save them from, basically.
Yeah, the mist doing like the snapping part was like that. I think was like the coolest thing we learned because like since the first book, the mists were like, what's up with the mists? Why are they here?
Yeah.
I got so emotional when when they started thinking about like Demo's men and like why they were sick for so long, and I started getting like emotional for Demo.
But yeah, so we found out that those group of the Mistfallen who were sick like exponentially longer. What was it? 16 days exactly? I forget.
16. Yeah, exactly.
So they turn out to be ATM mistings.
Or
Hooray! And then,
seers.
oh yeah, we also forgot to mention that the ATM stash was in the Conjure homeland the whole time, very next to the pits. And the Lord Ruler was, 5D chessing this whole scheme and taking the ATM and sending it into the homeland. Or I guess just like letting the Conjure take it. And Conjure contracts were also paid in ATM, which I forgot about, but that's a good detail to note from the earlier books. So the Conjure would just take the ATM and hoard it, as was all part of the plan. But now that Ellen has a full group of soldiers, like only like 230 something, he said, so not a big group against like 20,000 Koloss or however the number
I
was.
think it was like
But
40,000. It's like a crazy amount.
yeah,
It was
so
like hundreds of thousands.
they
Oh,
Because it was
basically
all of them.
oh, you're
they
right. It's
ate
every
the
single.
entire ATM horde though, which I'm like, is that physically possible? Because like only 230 men, and like they did mention Ellen ate so many beads, he
No,
almost
but
got like sick.
but they would eat them, burn them while fighting, and run back and eat
Yeah, run
more.
back. Okay, that makes sense. Against more. I'm like, there's no way they just ate it all at once. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot of
They
ATM.
just coming
No.
into battle bloated as fuck.
But as you burn it off, it gets better.
Yeah. And ATM burns really fast. So like
Yeah.
they
Yes.
can go through it
So
quickly.
it was
But
like
still, I was like,
Sazed,
damn,
the pit
they
crew.
really went
But-
through a
but in-
1,000 years of
But
ATM.
in my
Yeah.
head, for some reason, I just saw them having adium in their pockets, and mid-fight would just take a handful and just shove it in their mouth.
Yeah, like Skittles.
Snack. Gotta keep the blood sugar up.
Yeah, the glucose tablets. Oh, Human the Colossus is there now too, but he is unfortunately Norded and is being controlled by Ruin now, so he's like slaughtering people in the caves. Then we get in the final battle of Ellen versus Marsh.
The final
And it
scheme.
ends in like a double fatality, basically.
Yeah, but-
does Marsh even actually die? I think he does he?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think.
No, don't they mention him
no.
later?
Yeah, I think he's still alive,
yes,
right?
you're right. He's still alive in this. But I did like the imagery of like the angel Vin like wrapping her arms around Elle.
Yeah, yo, I was like tearing up, like what?
Oh, it's so sad.
So I'm like, damn, Ellen's plot armor finally wore out. Press F to pay respects to our Lord and Savior Ellen.
L.
Rip.
Oh yeah, and then Vin is like, Vin literally says she lost her will to live and just chokes out Ruin like together. They both just choke each other out. I'm like, that is so emo. Like that's so metal.
Instant crash
Pun
out as soon as
intended.
her lover dies.
Yeah, because at first I was like, dang, like Vin is so strong for like being okay with Ellen dying because I'm literally like tearing up. But then the next page she's like, fuck you. Like I was like, all right, never mind. She was affected. But that was so hardcore. So she kills Ruin. Ruin kills her because they're too matched a force.
Yes.
And then Ruin's human body precipitates out of thin air, and it was that of a man with red hair. And I'm like, is this also connected to the Cosmere? I guess so.
I would like to note something about like that. Like Ruin kept talking about preservation was like a bitch, couldn't plan as good as he could. At the end of the day, preservation's plan. He was literally he was
God's
like
plan.
the long god.
Preservation's plan all along.
Yeah, like Ruin thought preservation was playing checkers while he was playing chess. No, preservation was playing fucking 4D chess or some shit.
It kind of goes with their natures. Like if you're a ruin, you can't really plan ahead. Your whole thing is chaos. Meanwhile,
That's
if you're
true.
preservation, you are control. You are
You're in
try
it
to
for the
keep-
long.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
in for the long run. It's their ruin is a god at the end of the day, so he's not gonna be dumb. But his nature kind of wins against him.
Yeah.
But that was sad. So pour one out for our buddy Vin as well.
Yeah.
But oh, there's an ad starting at an important note. I'm skipping it. All right, so gender non-conforming hero of ages. What do we think?
Slay.
Like,
Slay.
so they mentioned that the neutral pronoun was important because we would never know if the hero was male or female. But I guess this is what, or actually, this is not what Vin or what Lewis got spoiled on. But it turns out Sazed was the real hero all along.
Yay.
And the prophecy came true, and he is the hero, and who bore the world on his arms, yada yada yada, and was like a rebel within his own group.
And they explained the hero of ages isn't the hero like to come like in it is like spanning all ages, like
Yeah.
the understanding of the word.
Which I actually think I could like made sense to me because I was like, why like ages plural was like weird to me. Like the whole title Hero of Ages, it made sense like it was the hero of all ages to me. That's what I thought. Because otherwise they would say like a hero of like ages or something. I don't know. But anyway, he absorbs the misty power of preservation and the cloudy power of ruin, and he basically becomes definitively God as well.
Yeah.
The only God I believe in.
Yeah.
and
For real.
I did assume that the diary entries that we were reading in this book was Sazed, because even though it had knowledge of, like, I knew it definitely had to be Vin or Sazed, but the way that they spoke in their writing, I'm like, this definitely just sounds like Sazed in the beginning. But it didn't make sense with the first entry being like, oh, I am unfortunately the hero of ages, because then we assumed it was Vin, and we're like, damn,
Yeah.
maybe like Vin got real literate really fast.
She was really hitting the
Yeah, when she became
She was
God,
practicing her
her
letters.
SAT scores like shot through the roof.
she was really hitting the hooked on phonics books for a while.
But in the end,
Yeah.
it turned out to be Sazed, so that was a cool like twist, I thought,
Yeah.
because they
Well,
basically told you.
I really went back and forth the whole time reading the like epithets, because it does say, and I'm looking back at it now, the one for chapter 2 says like, holding the power did strange things to my mind. I became familiar with like whatever, I could move planets, all that stuff, which
Yeah.
did happen to Vin. So when I read
Yes.
that, I was like, okay, it's got to be Vin, but we didn't know yet that it happened. Yeah, to say the later. So the whole time I did think it was Vin, but just like it kind of didn't
It
make
was
sense.
sus. Yeah, a bit sus
But
for her to
yeah,
speak
that was
like
a
that.
good misdirection.
Yes. But that was cool. So this book definitely had a lot of good twists that paid off. And even though like I'm not saying the book was rushed in terms of pacing, like because we did just find out a lot towards the end, which is just by virtue of what happens at the end of like the final book of a trilogy or like of a series. Um, I think he did really well with it, and I don't have any underlying questions besides ones that like have to do with the Cosmere as a whole. But now we'll talk about the epilogue. So after Sazed takes the godly powers. He has all the knowledge from his copper mines to actually put the planet back in orbit, and does a way better job than the Lord Ruler and
And
Vin.
not just knowledge, it's like a lot of it was from the religions he studied too,
Yes, so
which
that's
was
why it was
like
very
tying
important.
it all together.
And learn
So
from the mistakes that he made, because he
Yeah.
going back to also the previous what Ren was saying in another, like he moved the planet to, that he saw that Rashak moved it too much, and then he now knows,
Yeah.
yes,
he has that background.
Yeah.
And he knew
he has that
exactly where it
touch.
used to be based off of like
Yeah.
the dead religions and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, the sun and the stars and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Which was
another long con plan, maybe, of preservation, like the creation of the keepers in general.
yeah.
Yes,
They thought always it was just to bring the information back to the world, but really it was so that the hero could have the information necessary to actually fix things.
yeah, like reset the entire Earth, which is what he did because he put the grass back, the sky is blue. There's I guess
Yeah.
no buildings anymore because
There's
he can't do that yet,
flowers.
but he
Yeah.
gave them, knowledge is power, and he gave them like a whole stack of books containing the entire contents of his copper mine, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
the knowledge could be passed down. And then so that actually was only an epilogue, because wait, how does chapter 82 actually end? It's like they just
It's
die.
him
They're
It's
both
just
just
him like
lying in the
getting the
field.
him
power.
getting the powers, like grabbing both,
Yeah.
one in each hand.
And then the epilogue, we see Spook and all the
Or he
people who were
fixes the
hiding
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
in the underground in the caches. Sazed had like moved all of them together so they would, when they woke up or
With
came out of the caves, they'd all be with
be
each other.
together, and in the center of all of their little holes that they were hiding in was Vin and Elle in a field of flowers holding hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Sazed's note
It's like,
and the picture of a flower.
damn.
Just like Naruto and
It's just
Sasuke.
like
Oh my,
Naruto.
is it?
Guys,
That's what I thought
see?
immediately.
Okay, see, I said the same thing. I said the same thing, but they said they were
Except for
holding
they
hands. I
both
was
died
like Naruto and Sasuke.
Well,
through the blood.
I'm sure Sazed
Remember, he
cleaned them up
fixed
a
their
little.
bodies.
Yeah, Ellen has his head back on and he's not as bloody as he was before.
And
But
they're
that
Yeah,
was
he
a
fixed
very
him up.
And
Sweet
they're
image.
together in heaven.
Yeah. So he said
Yeah.
like, no, they're good where they are right now. They don't want to come back.
Yeah.
But that was The Hero of Ages, the final book in the original Mistborn trilogy. So now we'll get to whatever Lewis spoiled for himself a book ago.
No, the spoiler was that was
Was just
Sazed
say that as
becoming
God.
God. Literally, because like
Mm.
Andrea had mentioned, like, oh, like we know who God is, and I was like, what? So I googled
Uh,
who is God in Mistborn or Scadrial or whatever, and then literally the first sentence that popped up was, "And Sazed becomes God." I was like, what? It was
Rip.
see,
in
Yeah.
okay.
it was in
The
all bold. It was crazy as the first sentence.
at least though, I feel like the way that the way that you talked about it like didn't spoil anything for me. It didn't lead me to this conclusion because the way I was thinking about it was like the gods we already had, who were
Yeah.
they, as opposed to like I still didn't know that they fused and become a new god.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it didn't detract from I still
Same.
didn't guess
yeah.
that until
s-
it happened.
which was why I didn't say anything aside from what because I knew
Yeah.
if I said anything else, it's gonna easily spoil it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my bad. I shouldn't have said any. I thought that me saying it just ruin and preservation was gonna, yeah, wasn't gonna lead you down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think what
Because
the
literally
problem
the
was
last thing.
what
Yeah.
like when Ruin was talking to Zane and then like Zane just called it God, I think that was like so, like obviously it was a misnomer because there wasn't like any particular God. And then like when Lewis was trying to just figure out who the God was in Zane's head, he accidentally spoiled the end of the series.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
and like obviously, like it was in the back of my mind every single page after I found out that
Uh,
information. But like,
Thanks,
luckily,
Pete. I was hunching.
Posture check.
oh, my
Everyone
back is
crack your back.
my back is already straight.
Thank you for the
I,
posture check,
Thanks for.
Pistol. I'm
but
still
like,
eating my breakfast.
luckily, like when I read or watch anything, even if I know a spoiler, I only think about the spoiler when I'm not actively reading because like for some
Mm,
reason when I'm reading, like I guess I just get so super like just focused on whatever is currently happening.
Hmm.
yeah.
But every time I stopped reading, like to take a break or something, I'd be like, "So when's it gonna happen?"
Yeah, literally
When's he gonna become God?
the last
Yeah.
chapter of the
Yeah.
book.
When it finally happened, I was like, "Oh, that's what it happened."
Yeah. That's good. At least you didn't spoil like how it happens, because there's still
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff that like goes on in between to get there.
Oh yeah, and like I wouldn't have like guessed like he's the hero of ages just from that line. Like I knew something must have happened to make him like become God, obviously, but like I wouldn't have guessed a lot of the stuff that actually happens.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good twist.
Hmm. Anything else you want to talk about for the book or the series overall?
I mean, I'm excited to see how everything is now that Harmony is
Yeah,
um
is the god
the
Ruler.
of
yeah, the
Scadrial, or is it still called Scadrial? I actually don't.
yeah, I
Or
think it's still called Scadrial. Um, but it's like a combined shard, so it's interesting.
mm, I
I
am
still don't
curious,
know anything about the shards yet.
especially because it's like a Western, like the world is able to actually progress in technological advancement finally.
Hmm.
I really want to see how guns play in a
Yeah.
world where people have fucking metal magic.
Yeah. Well, I read the first chapter of the next thing, and they talk about guns.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be like the Wanted movies. Some people be gonna be curving bullets left and right.
Hmm. Yeah, there's actually I don't want to spoil stuff from the prologue of the next book. But there is like an interesting allomantic thing that
Oh god.
people have learned how to do to
Uh-oh.
address
I
bullets.
wanna read it. Dude, it's like as soon as they ended and like they were like, "Oh, I want you to just like I feel like you should look at for those other two medals. I think it'll be interesting." I was like, "I need to know."
Yes, so Brando Sandal has left other mysteries for us to continue to solve in future Mistborn books.
Hmm. But it does leave the question of like who or what is going to be the big bad in the next arc, because we already did God. So
Another
where do
god.
we go from here, you
It's
know?
always God.
Humanity.
Humanity was the
Yeah.
real monster all
Guns.
along.
God's
Yeah.
God, of
Then
course.
the next
Yeah.
gun control.
Yeah,
The
guns.
true
Guns were the real
enemy,
enemy.
gun control.
Yeah.
Democrats.
The Democrats, the true enemy.
Hmm.
But
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was that was a good trilogy. I really liked it. I haven't read like a solid fantasy, like adult fantasy in a long time, if ever. So, well,
Oh, in that
besides
case,
like
okay.
movies and games, but
I mean,
I
as you saw from
thoroughly
my
enjoyed
list, all
Mistborn
28 of the
trilogy.
books I've read this year are just fantasy. I think like
Nice.
majority of them were like adult fantasy. Some of them a little too adult, if I'm being
Oh yeah,
honest.
I gotta update my a little too adult. I gotta update my website thingy. What was it called again?
Storygraph.
Storygraph.
Oh,
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
Storygraph. It's so fun
I
to look at the
just
little charts.
added that. So now yeah, that
What is
was my
choreographed?
Storygraph?
the like
Storygraph or
reading
story?
track, reading
Storygraph.
tracker that we use.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
storygraph.
like like Goodreads, but like cooler and not owned
But
by
Independent.
better.
Amazon.
Yeah, it's independently
Ooh.
like run. Yeah, we're all friends on it, Andre. You should join.
I'm gonna
Just do it.
join,
It's
yeah.
free. But that was my goal this year was 30 books, and that was my 31st. So I exceeded my goal
Nice.
via Brando Sando.
Yay!
Mm.
And
Thanks, Brando.
let me make my I didn't even know we had this.
My goal this year was
I
20,
forget to
and I
update
hit
it.
28 books after
Nice.
Warbreaker. I think next year I'm gonna up it to 30 because I feel like I could easily do it. I just like took like a weirdly long break from reading in the middle of the year.
I
Yeah.
definitely just don't have time to read
I
as
actually
many
no, it
books
was.
as
I think it
y'all.
was because of Iron Flame. Actually, that's why I took a break. Is because
You burnt
Iron,
out.
like even
It
mid read,
defeated your.
because normally I would read a side book in between, like while reading our like book club books. But Iron Flame just pissed me off so much I didn't want to read after reading Iron Flame.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
bad,
And I'm
bad
gonna
book.
subject myself to a fucking Onyx Storm, so I'll let y'all know how that goes.
You're very impressive, man.
I'm just gonna read the Sparks Note version of it,
Same.
I got it. I
just to
got
get the
the
story
special
plot.
sprayed edges, so I'm gonna read it.
We could have a special book club that is the Lewis Spark Notes of
Yeah,
Onyx.
Lewis just drops all
It's
the
We
lore
it's
all
for
it's
us.
it's
just
it's just
listen
my
to the
it's just my book report.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Bring us your
your
book
homework,
report.
Lewis, is to next time tell us the first half of Onyx Storm.
Book
Yeah,
report.
Yeah,
You do have to include some pictures, so
Yeah,
make
maybe
a
even a
drawing.
PowerPoint we could
I
share
will
with the
say because
class.
I'm not reading it for book club though. I can probably just read it faster.
You want to
Yeah.
do like one of
Oh
those
wait,
shitty
but I gotta
PowerPoint
take I
things?
should take good notes though if I'm gonna actually explain it to you guys. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
make up one
easy
of those really
one.
shitty PowerPoints and we'll do it on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like low effort
You
PowerPoints.
you think there's enough actual good content to make a
No,
PowerPoint?
no.
No, you make a content about PowerPoint
Yeah,
about the bad content.
that's a good point. You're right. You're
It's a hate read. That's the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, please trash it in every single slide.
you know
Me,
what'd be so funny? Imagine it's actually a banger. That'd be crazy.
Maybe she improved her writing. That would be great.
I have
I would
very
me,
be
little
mad.
people.
hope. I have little hope, but like I do hope that she does that. Like it would be nice if it got better. Like I
Please.
don't want her to write a bad book. I want her to write a good book. It's just I don't have like a lot of confidence in that.
Yeah, she kind of fumbled the characters already, the main characters. So it's like,
Yeah.
heck
She
her.
fumbled the main character in the first book.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also very hard because I just don't like Violet. Like it's hard for me to like her in any capacity.
He's not a likable character.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I love her ensemble cast. Like I love them all. Even Dane has somehow grown on me and I hated the bitch. Like but like Violet, the main character is just so annoying and does not deserve Zayden in any capacity.
I mean, if we want to read a good book about dragon riders, and it's actually a queer love story, There's the Priority of the Orange Tree.
Ooh, yes, that's on my list. I love the
Oh
cover.
yeah, that's on my list too.
But I don't know if we have time, or if we want to jump
Yeah.
straight into Stormlight Archive,
This
or
is
we
now a
want to,
Brando Sando podcast.
Yeah.
yeah, or if we want to read a dragon book that doesn't make us want to kill ourselves.
How long is that book though? I'm assuming short.
Oh no, it's like
Shorter.
1,000
No, it's
pages.
It's
long.
pretty long,
It's
yeah.
long,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah,
never
but
it's
it's a
mind.
long.
standalone book.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
not a
one book. It's
series.
not, yeah. Actually, though, there's a prequel, A Day of Fallen Night, that just released last year,
I
but
mean,
they don't.
to be fair, we could like go into a more traditional book club style discussion thing where we're not like going by chapter so that
Yeah, a
like we
faster
could
Mhm.
pace.
read faster and but still have a like a discussion kind of thing. I
Yeah, we'll
mean,
need
but
to
that's
use like
if
the
up to you
discussion
guys if how
questions.
fast you guys want to read books. Because I read Warbreaker in the time that I finished Mistborn into this.
It depends. Like I honestly, I didn't have a lot of time to even read this book. That's why I was like speed reading. Like I was
Yeah.
supposed to read all day Thursday, Friday after I got home from work, but then I wound up working like overtime and I didn't have any time to read. So
Uh,
I read like 25 chapters yesterday. And
mm,
that's what I basically spent the entire day doing besides laundry.
Yeah, it's also a bit
Yeah,
harder for me to read.
yeah,
Uh,
that's true. You're right.
yeah, yeah. I have
but
plenty of time for reading, so I'm
Yeah. Plus I'm still trying to play all
based
my
on
games.
what other people have space for is fine for me.
For sure. Yeah, me too.
so, what book
Because I
should we
have
do
like I
next?
have a ton of side books anyway. If like
Yeah,
in
I'm
between
always
reading
reading something
books.
else.
All right, yeah, good. Because I don't want to slow you guys down from enjoying the series. Like I can still keep on track with maybe a single series, but I can't read like 5 books at a time while also playing games.
Oh no, yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm also like getting back into video games, so I will say my reading time is like it's a hard balance right now.
Damn, Persona was more true to life than we originally thought. You can do one thing when you come back home.
No,
yeah.
seriously though.
That's
Get
that's
one
so
activity per
true.
day.
I can either increase my intelligence or
Yeah,
lower it
I
by
can hang
playing
out with my
video
friends,
games.
or I can go home and sleep immediately. But
Real.
yeah, all right, that was a great. So yeah, we finished on like an hour and 40, which is good for like a half of the book. So we did
Hmm.
do a good speedy job. But yeah, let's so next book, book one of Stormlight Archives, The Way of Kings, yes?
Yep,
Way of Kings.
sounds
Yep.
good. The Way
All
of
right,
Kings.
let's I will wrap up the stream and then we'll talk about scheduling. Thanks to all who joined and we hope you maybe we're reading along with us. I know Pistol knows vaguely what's going on because I'm always like texting him, "Oh my God, I just cried." I like to start the book. But yeah. But
Yeah.
that was a good ride, and I can't believe this book came out like almost 20 years ago now. Well, Brando was definitely
Damn.
writing it 20 years ago, but like, dang, it is still like timeless. I think that's what I like about fantasies, though, is that like they don't have like a need for any contemporary anything, and you can just read
Hmm.
it no matter what time it is or no matter what age you are.
Yeah.
But Brando Sando, we wish you good health and good luck with the rest of your series.
For 2047.
Yeah.
Please live to the age of
Yeah.
230
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
so
and
that you
we'll
can
pick
continue
up
writing.
the next Brando Sando series for us, the Stormlight Archives. I guess we have 5 very large books, and I guess we'll talk about. I guess we'll look at how long these are and figure out what we'll read for the next book club. But yeah, that shall be decided off stream. But thanks everyone for sticking around, and we'll catch you. Oh yeah, no game stream for me tomorrow because tomorrow is my holiday luncheon at work, so I'm getting home late. But we'll have a Christmas Eve stream and possibly a Christmas Day
Wow.
stream, just because I want to play this game. So we'll see y'all then.
Valid.
All